All right, it seems like the knives are out. The hunt is on as the NCAA is officially given former University of Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh a 4-year show clause with an entire 1 full year suspension if he were to ever choose to come back to college football. Now, the former Michigan man, current head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, probably was a dark horse to get back into college football, but you never do know. I always kind of thought like maybe if he wins a Super Bowl, NFL doesn't work out, he comes back as one of those old heads to coach Michigan once again, but it feels like the NCAA has dropped the hammer. They are trying to make an example of him, and biggest thing is this has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the Connor Stallion spy investigation that is currently going on. This has to do with previous recruiting violations that happened during the COVID dead period. There was a negotiation prior to Harbaugh last season, starting with a 4-game suspension. Those fell apart. The university suspended him for the first 3 games of the season. But now they're going after him. They're saying basically you can't do anything with the school's athletics for 4 years, and you can't do anything at all for at least 1 year while you were in college. That's insane. That's a pretty much get the hell out of our sport. But the NCAA has been completely marginalized at this point. They're a useless organization. But what are these, infractions stem from? It's the famous cheeseburger. If you guys haven't heard about this, Harbaugh allegedly had illegal contact with a recruit and his father during the COVID dead period. Now, COVID was a crazy time. Harbaugh was about to be fired. It looked like he was getting desperate out there, but it's kind of hilarious where Harbaugh adamantly denied he had any contact with this recruit or his dad, but they ended up finding a receipt to a cheeseburger joint in Michigan that tied to Harbaugh being there and him being reimbursed for buying him a cheeseburger. It's hilarious at this point now because this was technically prior to the NIL being opened up in college sports. So you couldn't buy him a cheeseburger. Now you could buy a kid a Lambo, essentially. It's crazy how fast things have come. And like I said, the NCAA is a feckless, useless organization that has essentially lost all power. I don't know why the NCAA still even exists, especially for power sports like college football and college basketball. I don't know why the member institutions would even deal with these fake bureaucratic leaders in Indianapolis. They're an absolute joke, but they basically are laying down the law still. I'll be interested to see. They did end up signing an extension, essentially tying them to the NCAA for the next few years, because there was some serious talk that we could see college football as a whole just basically break off and not be part of the NCAA, be their own little thing, have their own playoff, have their own conferences, their own setup, pay their players whatever they want, have no rules, no restrictions, pretty much the wild, wild west, basically a semi-pro league to get, and kids can also get an education, I guess, if you're not going to go pro, because you're still, you're filling out an 80-man roster, 25 of those guys are going to go pro. If you're lucky in a 2, 3, 4 year span, if you're a top tier program, you're going to probably see a little bit more. So there are a lot of benefits. Kids can make some money. They're working hard. They're working long hours, and they get a free education most of the time. But yet, any chance of Harbaugh coming back into Michigan has basically been completely washed. College football in general, washed away. I wouldn't see him going anywhere else but Michigan. Premier program, his alma mater. You wouldn't coach anywhere else. It would be back at Michigan. He got his natty though, so I'm sure he's going to be able to die happy as far as it goes being a Michigan man. But yeah, Jim Harbaugh suspended, hit with a 4-year show cause, and this is not even for the looming investigation that is coming down on Michigan. The Connor Stallions, they released some info this week. Sharon Moore deleting text messages, the current head coach for Michigan, wiping multiple hard drives. Stallions on the sideline for Central Michigan. It's not looking great. Now, some people say it's a witch hunt. Some people say they were blatantly cheating all around and Harbaugh was the mastermind behind this. I think there's somewhere in a gray area. It feels like there's not really much connection to Harbaugh with the evidence I've been presented. Now, some head coaches are super anal and they want to be focused on everything, every minute detail. They are way micromanagers. Other coaches are big delegators. They're focused on the game plan. They're focused on doing other things. They're not dealing with the day-to-day stuff as far as scouting is concerned, how they're getting these scouting what the tape looks like, what the calls are on the sideline, quick defensive calls in particular. When the offense shows up the card, they know what the call is for the offense and they're able to adjust. It's kind of a real gray area as far as I'm concerned. Now, a lot of people say if you're the man in charge, all the responsibility falls on you. You are ultimately, the buck stops with you. You have to know what's going on with your program. So with this 4-year show cause, minimum 1-year full suspension if he ever goes back into college, I imagine he's probably going to get like a lifetime ban from college football once this investigation comes out, just because, first and foremost, the NCAA does not like Jim Harbaugh. Most people do not like Jim Harbaugh. He's a great football coach, but he tends to rub people the wrong way, and it gets people up in a tizzy. He's talked about, revenue sharing a long time ago. Some people have some suspicions. It has to do with this, where he was saying we got to split the TV revenue with the players since they're kind of the big draw here. But it's a really interesting story. We're not going to get a final ultimate finale to everything that was this defending national champion Michigan Wolverines football team for not like 5, 10, 15 years down the road. I'm excited to see that 30 for 30. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you think Harbaugh would ever have a chance of coming back to college? What do you think about him at the Chargers? Does he have a shot to take that team to a Super Bowl? Will Michigan get the death penalty, quote unquote? Will they be done as a top program, one and done? Banned, scholarships lost. Are they going to drop the hammer on them? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. New sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool content, exclusive content. Help support me. If you want $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase, use code afterthereview, link down below. Check it out. $20 off your first purchase. Help support me. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.